James in London and Como, Italy. James, I am envious. Those are two great places. Wow. Love London and Italy. Me, food, Italy. Love it. All right. Hey, Paul. I've been very interested in the recent reviews of the FR5. Yeah, you should. I mean, they've been some great reviews. Got the cover of Stereophile and just lots of great reviews. If the one in Stereophile that just got published is really, really good and much appreciated. And I was intrigued by your teaser piece on the future PS Audio subwoofer. Aha! I assume this would be a great combination for a smaller listening room. I've just bought a new PS Audio phono stage to go with my Audio Research Ref 6 preamp, and I want more PS Audio products, so I hope the subwoofer is coming soon. James. Well, a couple things about that. First off, the FR5 has such amazing low-end energy. For a smaller room, you may not need a subwoofer and probably don't. But I don't know of a system, regardless of its bass response, that doesn't benefit from a subwoofer. The big question is, do you really need one? And a lot of that is placement and the room, because as we remember, proper use of a subwoofer does not augment the bass response of the main speakers. It augments the room. And where the main speakers are in your room is typically not where you're going to get the best bass. So subwoofers, I always recommend them for the room, not so much the speaker, which is a roundabout way of saying the FR5s have great bass. I mean, they go to like 35 hertz. So don't automatically assume that your room isn't going to benefit or not benefit from a subwoofer solely based on the performance of the speaker, because the speaker is going to perform in a smaller room with all the bass you're going to want. But again, the room is the culprit here. And so a subwoofer works to augment the room. And this is the driver that's going into that subwoofer that Chris is working on. Isn't this a beauty? Look at this thing. It's just, oh my God, I don't know what this thing weighs, but let me tell you, I don't know that I've seen a magnet that big on a 12-inch subwoofer, and you probably can't see it, and I don't know that I can. Let's see if I can lift it up. And if you can see in here at that double coil, I don't know how much you can see because I can't see what the camera is seeing, but geez Louise, I'm going to have this place fall apart. This massive, beautiful woofer. Hey, Chris has shown, you should see some of these graphs. I know, we're going to nerd out just for a second. One of the things that Chris focuses on, of course, is low distortion, high excursion woofers. And the two don't normally match. What that means is when the woofer makes an excursion, when it starts to move this way or it moves that way, how far it moves is what we call its excursion. Out here, out here. Now these things, this big surround and all that, this thing just has, I don't know, a couple of inches of excursion. I mean, huge. When it goes way out to the edges, most woofers become nonlinear because the coil is coming away from the permanent magnet, the coil being the active electromagnet. As it moves away from the permanent magnet, everything changes, right? And when it sits in here, it's perfectly linear. As it moves out and into these excursions, it starts varying off. And so Chris does all these cool tricks with shorting rings and split gaps and all this kind of stuff. A lot of it I just barely understand. But the net result of it is a very, very linear, a very low distortion excursion all the way out to the extremes. Better than just about any woofer I've ever seen at any price. I mean, we're talking, I ain't naming names, but there are some really expensive subwoofers out there that don't perform as well as this driver. And look, at the end of the day, a subwoofer is a wooden box with a driver and a power amp. That's all that's in it. That, you know, I don't care how fancy your box is and how fancy your amp is. At the end of the day, that's all it is. We have an amp, a driver, and a box. So the better the driver, the lower the distortion, the greater the excursion, all of that good stuff, powered by a great amplifier with a good crossover, you know, yeah. So I don't want to go down that road because I don't want to start dissing, you know, $10,000 subwoofers. But we'll get more into it as Chris gets closer. But yes, PS Audio is going to start making wonderful subwoofers. We'll start with a 12-inch. You won't see anything until mid to late 2025. But as we get closer, I'll let you know. Okay? All right. Thanks for the question.